Listening Library presents Star Darlings Collection, Volume 3, featuring Piper's Perfect Dream, Astra's Mixed Up Mission, Tessa's Lost and Found, by Shayna Muldoon Zappa and Ahmet Zappa. Read for you by Kyla Garcia. Piper's Perfect Dream. Prologue. Star Kindness Day greetings. To all my darling friends. From Piper. Subject: Happy Star Kindness Day. Happy Star Kindness Day, a time to spread good cheer. I'm sending this holotext to say, you glow, girls, all star year. With love and positivity, Piper. P.S. Personal greetings to come. To Sage. From Piper. Subject: Star Kindness Day compliment. The first star darling to ride a star, the first on a mission traveling far. You triumphed with your heart and glow, even gathering some energy flow. To Leona. From Piper. Subject: Thinking of you on Star Kindness Day. The third to go to a faraway world, you granted a wish and energy swirled. But on your way back to our land of light, your pendant turned as black as night. Why, you asked, so sad and blue? No one could answer, no one knew. But do not fret, Leona dear, you still rock, that much is clear. To Scarlet. From Piper. Subject: Star Kindness Day tidings. You had to leave the SD fold, but you didn't give up. You were too bold. You joined a mission with a regular starling to prove you were a tried and true darling. But why did this happen at all? Why did you take the fall? Another question, another riddle. But you stepped up to shine, no second fiddle. You showed true grit, and even some wit. My hat's off to you. Glad you're back with the crew. To Cassie. From Piper. Subject: An affirmation on Star Kindness Day. Who knows what to do when we're confused through and through? You, sweet little Cassie, you always do. And when you came back from a mission all spent, the lights went out 100%. But you stayed calm and cool and kept us together. You figure things out, whenever, wherever. Chapter 1. In her Little Dipper dorm room, Piper finished her last holotext. Then she swiped the screen on her Stars app to queue up all the messages. Star Kindness Day was the next day. A ceremony would be held in the morning, at precisely the moment the nighttime stars and the daytime sun could all be seen in the color-streaked sky. It happened in the morning only once a star year, and all over Starland, starlings met in open areas to gaze at the sight. Light energy flowed. Everyone smiled. They exchanged positive messages then, and for the rest of the star day, to loved ones, to strangers, and to everyone in between. Thoughtful compliments, meaningful praise, heartfelt affirmations. It was definitely Piper's favorite holiday. At Starling Academy, all the students' messages would go out at once, while everyone gathered in the Star Quad before class. Piper checked her holotexts one last time. She had her own holiday tradition, styling her compliments into poetry. What better way to get a loving message across, she felt, than using language that lifted the spirit, too? That star year, she'd worked especially hard on the poems. There had been many ups and downs for the Star Darlings. So much had happened already that year. All the SD missions, some successful, some not. So that day, of all days, Piper wanted her friends to feel good. Finally pleased with her efforts, Piper tossed her stars app onto a neat pile of pillows on the floor. She'd played around with poetry ideas for Star Weeks. Should I use light coups? She'd wondered first. That poetry originated from Light Coup Isle, an isolated island with sandy, sparkling beaches, where the local starlings spoke solely in those kinds of poems, spare and simple, with only 3 lines of verse and 17 syllables total. How they managed this without even trying was a wonder to Piper. She herself strove for an effortless state of being on a star daily basis, but the light coups proved too difficult and limiting. So Piper went with sonnets, rhyming poems that could be any length and meter, but needed to include a source of light. The last star year, when Piper was a relatively new first-year student, the holiday hadn't gone quite the way she'd wanted. She had labored long and hard over those hollow texts then, too. She'd wanted to reach out to every single student at Starling Academy. She'd wanted each student to feel good after reading her text, appreciated, even loved, she'd hoped. She wrote one epic poem, but it turned out to be so long and so serious no one bothered reading it. A hot flash of energy coursed through Piper, just remembering it. She'd felt like crying for star days after. This star year, she was determined to get it right. She decided to focus only on students she knew well, and that meant mostly the star darlings. She tried to make the poems fun and light, too. Zippy, you might say. No one would think Piper particularly zippy, she knew. She tended to move slowly and unhurriedly, taking in her surroundings to be fully in the moment. But of course she had her own inner energy, and maybe this year she would manage to get that across in her poetry. Piper leaned back against her soft pillow, closed her eyes, and visualized each of her friends' smiling faces as they read her special words of encouragement. Well, maybe Scarlett and Leona wouldn't exactly be smiling. Even with her failed mission well in the past and band rehearsals on again, Leona was just beginning to bounce back. As for Scarlett, she'd had an amazing kind of mission. After being booted out of the Star Darlings, she'd brought back wish energy and basically saved her substitute SD, Ophelia, in the bargain. Still, it was hard to get a read on Scarlett. Piper wasn't sure what the older starling was really thinking. One thing was crystal clear, though. Scarlett didn't like rooming with Leona, and Leona felt the same about Scarlett. Even when those poisonous flowers were removed from the girls' dorm room so they couldn't spread negativity, those two just couldn't get along. Yes, there was a lot happening at the academy, and on Starland itself. That recent blackout after Cassie's mission, for instance, had thrown everyone off balance. Even the teachers weren't immune. Headmistress Lady Stella, usually so calm and serene, and an inspiration to Piper, seemed a little edgy. And the head of admissions, Lady Cordial, was stammering and hemming and hawing more than usual. Now, more than ever, everyone needed to be centered and positive. So really, this was the perfect time for Star Kindness Day. As Piper thought about everything, her stomach did an unexpected flip. Maybe she should send a positive poem to herself. She stretched to pick up her Stars app without lifting her head, then tapped the self-hollow text feature. Piper's picture popped up in the corner of the screen, a serene, faraway expression on her face, thin seafoam green eyebrows, matching long, straight seafoam green hair, and big green eyes looking into the distance. For the hollow photo, Piper had pulled her hair back in a ponytail. The ends reached well below her waist. Her expression was as calm as when she swam in Luminous Lake, and that was how she wanted to feel now. Centered and peaceful and wonderfully relaxed. What poem would bring her that mindset? Like the calm at the center of the storm, Piper began writing. Then she paused.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?